Save the World.
Episode
73.
Yeah.
73.
Yeah.
73 mean anything?
No.
Oh. Usually I'm like, 73 means...
Well, that's the number of...
episodes we've done.
There's the number of genomes in the salt squid.
It is not. We're just going to make shit up from here on in.
That's right.
Ooh, cool. So how are you today?
I'm good. I'm super good. I got my COVID test back.
Yes.
And I'm positively negative.
You're positively negative. Are you positive?
I'm positive. I'm negative.
Are you sure?
I'm negatively positive.
That you're negative?
That I'm negative.
Have you been told that, though?
No, I'm just assuming because that's what the phone thing suggested.
Did you just cough?
What?
Oh.
No, I'm fine.
Good thing you're like 10 feet away from me right now. In this tiny space that we call C-space.
Physically distancing.
Yes. And why did you get your test done?
Well, because they're testing everybody who's asymptomatic and works out of the house.
Everybody. That's a lot of people.
They invited everybody. So I took them up on that invitation and I went and got my thing did. They didn't stab my brain.
Yeah, I'm so mad.
Yeah. So there's that. So so I'm waiting for a callback. Maybe I'll get it while we're on the show.
So when you didn't get brain stabbed, were you disappointed? Like, what happened? So you drove to the secret location.
Yeah.
And you were all ready to get stabbed in the face.
Right. Well, so I drove to the secret location.
Yeah.
And my appointment was 7:30.
Yes.
And there's only supposed to be one other person at 7:30, but there's 4 people in the parking lot. I was number 3.
What?
Yeah.
I thought you were trying to be first.
I know. And I got there early. Anyway, and then this guy came out. He's just like, "Are you an A or B?" And I'm just like, "I don't know." He goes,
"What?
Yeah.
How did you not?" Disappointed.
It was explained to me where I was supposed to go. So I was like, "Great, I know where that is." And so that's where I showed up. And the guy's just like, "Are you supposed to be an A or B?" I'm like, I don't know. Because B is on the other side of the building. So I was on the west side. West side. Anyway, long story short, I pulled in to the garage. They closed the doors. And people in hazmat suits are there with shields and stuff. And they came over and I was fully expecting to get stabbed in the face. And instead, I just had to deep throat a cotton swab, which I gagged on.
I'm really sad you didn't get stabbed in the face.
Yeah.
I'm offering you a poke in the eye. No! All right, then, a punch in the throat. No! My very last offer, Mrs. Scum, a knee in the temple and a dagger at the clitoris. That's very tempting. I've never had one up there before.
I was really hoping, I was like, we need solidarity. I need you to know how I...
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So there you go. So it was like, yeah. Anyway, so then I was just like, that's it. I drove up here and spent the day working.
But did you say why don't you stab me in the face?
No, she seemed like she had much better things to do other than explain why she's not stabbing me in the face.
Fuck.
Yeah.
But
I did, I took a video of it. And I'm just like, "Oh, you're not going to do the thing?" She's like, "No." I'm like, "Nice."
Damn.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was like, it's gonna be uncomfortable, and because you're stuck in the car, there's nowhere for you to go.
Yeah.
God damn it.
It was fine. Anyway, so I'm just waiting for those results, and we'll see how that goes.
Fuck.
Yeah. How about you? How are you doing today?
I am grumpy today.
You are super grumpy today.
I'm trying not to be. I don't know. Well, I mean, it's probably because I worked from home for 2 days, and yesterday I was bad and didn't actually do it at my desk. So my shoulders hurt, my back hurts. It's totally my fault. And then I was worried that I wasn't going to sleep, so I took some Advil nighttime. So I'm slow and
groggy.
And groggy. And I've had 2 cups of coffee and I haven't eaten yet. And it's been raining for 3 days. And I love rain. And yesterday it was a good rain. and it sounded really nice outside, but it's cold. And today it's just overcast and blah. It's just one of those. And I think, and I know we're not supposed to be talking about the pandemic because we said that we weren't going to.
Yeah.
Just like the little orange man down south.
Yeah.
We said we weren't going to talk about it, but it's starting to really get to me.
Oh, yeah.
Like pretty hard, I think. And I know that it's just, and I hate this privilege thing, but I think it's showing my privilege that something like this is just like it shouldn't, but I think it's really starting to wear me down.
Huh.
But
pub's open next week.
Go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pint, and wait for all this to blow over.
Yeah, and I'm still not gonna go because blah.
Yeah.
And I know that Alberta's doing really well considering, compared to like Ontario and Quebec and New York and pretty much all of the states. But I'm still going to be really wary about going out to the public places. And I know there's a lot of rules about going out to the public places. I got an email from the hair salon that I like going to about all the rules that they have.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my hair's long, so it's not that I really need a haircut anyway. I can always trim my bangs if I decide to, but I'm still going to be pretty wary about going out, but I do miss the pubs.
Yeah.
And it sounds like I'm a really horrible person. I don't miss people as much as I miss going out to things.
Yeah.
I miss, as much as I like doing like little silly films and our podcasts and stuff, I miss being on stage.
Yeah. I'm missing an audience in the worst way.
Exactly. I miss, I don't miss people as much as I miss going out to the experience of things.
Yeah. I get it.
So I think that has been on my mind the last couple days, and working from home, it's not as busy as working at the hospital. So I have a lot more time because I still have to get up for work at 7:30, but I'm stuck with my brain more.
Yeah.
So I think that's a little more difficult to.
Well, and there's I know that this has been in the news lately, this whole Spotify thing and a bunch of other companies that are saying, hey, you know what? We're just never going to have offices again. Everybody's going to work from home because it's working out so well. And I have worked from home almost my entire career. Like for the majority of it, I've been just doing my own thing. So I'm used to it. I know the rhythms. I know how hard it is. I don't think that people really appreciate how fucking hard it is to work at home, to stay focused, to stay on track, and get stuff actually done.
Hello! What do you think, Marge? All I need is a title. I was thinking along the lines of no TV and no beer make Homer something.
Go crazy?
Don't mind if I do!
So I'm interested to see when the honeymoon phase is over and people are just like, oh, so I'm now locked within these four walls for work and for home life.
Yeah, and it's funny. Like I know, like I think you and I are doing really quite well compared to other people I think who are struggling, like relationship wise.
Yeah.
But there's one thing that we had talked about like last week. I've always had this sort of thing in my head about like having my own island and living on it, and it sort of made me think that maybe I can't do that because I realize that I do need more stimulation than just living on an island, right?
Oh yeah.
Not that that's been like a legit dream of mine, but it has been a dream of mine. But clearly I still need theater, and I need pubs, and I need, this other stuff. Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I always worked from home and I had a job where I could work from home, I'd probably be doing better. But I still hold on to the fact that if our backyard was an ocean and I could still, jump off a dock and go swimming every morning and, kayak, or, I can't do that. So if I still had a life where I could still be somewhat solitary and do a lot of stuff, and I was used to that already, I think things would be a little bit easier.
Yep.
But
plus we need to move to Maui still. So there's that.
Yeah. And Maui is doing like some hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
Which could take us to the news.
DBP News right now.
And this wasn't something that we were going to talk about because it is COVID related, but it's just a little something that I was now going to talk about since you brought up with Maui.
Do it.
They are arresting people
Yeah.
that are
Disobeying the public order to quarantine.
exactly. And it's kind of funny, but not funny. When you go to Maui and you're a visitor, and I don't know why people are visiting Maui because you still have to fly on a plane, walk. You sign a waiver that says, I understand that I could spend time in jail and pay up to, I think, $15,000. And I don't have it in front of me because I wasn't planning on talking about this. If I don't stay in my hotel or my Airbnb or whatever for 14 days.
Yeah.
But people are going out, and one gentleman from New York, for sure, because this is the article I saw, and I think 2 honeymooners did this as well. They went out, even took public transit, and took photos of themselves and posted on Instagram of them being out on the beach and surfing and whatever. Being out and about after they signed the waiver, after they got off the airplane.
Jesus.
And they got arrested.
Yeah.
Because Maui and Hawaii and, Oahu and all these places are very stringent about keeping their islands safe.
Yeah.
And
they're on an island in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly, right? So now these people might be doing prison time because they signed a waiver saying they can't do this. And if they do, they could go to prison. And
So
I mean,
there's no, I didn't
how
know.
stupid. Oh, yeah, I know. And I understand that, you go to Hawaii, you want to be out there.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, you signed a thing.
Yeah.
How dumb.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just needed to throw that in there because, I mean, Hawaii is amazing, but oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Anyways.
10 out of 10 would go back.
11 out of 10 would go back.
For sure. Something cool that happened recently is Alberta has been getting a couple shout outs.
Yeah.
From some pretty cool people from past Albertans.
And in a good way.
Yeah. Which is
nice.
always nice.
Because
and really,
we don't always get a good rap.
Two of my favorite sort of, I don't know, celebrities.
Mm-hmm. Well, they are celebrities.
Well, because they're from Alberta. Even though they're from Edmonton. But Nathan Fillion did a really nice thing. Somebody helped out his mom.
Yeah, and they didn't know it was his mom.
Yeah, so he posted this thing. Hey, thanks. Les, I think his name was Les. He had paid for his mom's gasoline because she forgot her wallet or something. And he was just like, hey, don't worry about it. I got you. Go ahead and just pay it forward. And she was like, oh, that's so nice. And of course, she tells her son, who happens to be Nathan Fillion. And Nathan's like, what? This is awesome. You're great people. We're going to do this. Now we're going to pay it forward this way.
Yeah. So she had trouble paying with her credit card.
Oh,
so
okay.
she didn't forget her wallet. I guess her credit card was not working or the machine wasn't working. So the gas attendant was Les Thompson. And the woman that he was helping just happened to be Nathan Fillion's mother.
That's awesome.
So he said, don't worry about it, just pay it forward. So now Nathan Fillion's dad and Nathan Fillion are sending 3 iPads and headphones to a nearby seniors care facility so those folks can visit with their families.
Keep connected.
I know.
What a lovely way to pay it forward.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Because those seniors obviously can't visit their families because of the fucking state of the world right now.
That just gave me a warm fuzzy.
It gave me a wet eyeball. It's a little dusty in here.
Well done, everybody. Les, you kick ass. And Nathan and Nathan's dad, you guys are awesome. That's nice. That's nice. That's such a nice thing to do.
I know. And and it's funny because I have never been I don't want to say a victim of paying it forward, but I've never
what a weird
recipient.
Thing to say.
My brain.
I've gotten the Tim Hortons pay it forward. I've been involved in that where I go to pay and they're just like, oh no, the person in front of you paid for your thing. And I'm just like, what? That's great. I'll pay it for the person behind. And then the the crazy train keeps rolling.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, I've never experienced it. I'm ashamed to say I've never done it either. I don't think.
It's kind of a fun thing to do. I've paid for people's groceries at Safeway a couple times.
Yeah.
Like their entire grocery bill because they left their wallet. I'm like, oh, that's shitty.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah. But I was going to say that one of the greatest things about Nathan Fillion, obviously, is
he's Canadian.
He's Canadian. He's Albertan. But
coat.
he was also, and I shouldn't just say him, but I mean, Joss Wheaton certainly had a hand in this. He was kind of the inspiration for our 48-hour film challenge that we did for the Calgary Comic Expo.
Are you using this story to boost us?
A little bit.
Yeah, you are.
But
We're terrible people. We're paying it forward by checking out our stuff.
But so the Space Western Final Frontier that we did, I'm just going to put it out there because we thank Nathan in our credits, actually.
Yes, because he's a huge fan of ours.
Probably.
Could be. Most likely.
Yeah. Now, the other thing that came out recently, which is super cool, is one of my other favorite celebrities, also a local boy, Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
What a nice thing.
And I only heard about this today, actually, on the news on the way to driving to C-Space. He posted on Facebook a thank you to Alberta healthcare workers.
Yeah, that's nice. Because he's like thanking you because you're an Alberta healthcare worker.
Yeah. He didn't say directly, thank you, Jennifer. But I think that, he didn't just want to single me out because he would have felt bad.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's so many people, and how do you...
And if you say just Jennifer, there's a lot of Jennifers, so he didn't want people to be confused. So he said, thank you to the healthcare workers, especially in Alberta and elsewhere. I think what he was trying to get at was just, his family, I think, is still in Alberta.
Yeah.
And he was saying, how hard it's been being in New York during the pandemic.
Oh,
and
for
he just
sure.
wanted to thank everybody. And Alberta Health Services posted it, and I saw it on 660 News as I was driving here. Nice. So we're going to post the link, and it again, a little dust in my eye.
Yeah.
It was really nice. And,
these things are, it's such a nice thing. It's nice to be recognized. It's nice to have nice things being said. This is the time to do it. I'm going to focus on that, these great things that, people, to support the people around you, to recognize the good in people. That's kind of what it's all about.
Well, and Alberta's been doing really well. Alberta, where you been so long? We've done a lot of tests. Yeah. And I say we because I haven't been done doing a lot of tests, but I work for Alberta Health Services, and I'm not even like frontline. Like I'm not a nurse, and I'm not working in the emergency department or in the testing facilities or anything like that. But we've done hundreds of thousands of tests since March.
Yeah.
And considering that, like you mentioned earlier, we're testing patients who are asymptomatic now. So we're adding that number of people on top of it.
Yeah.
They're working fucking hard. And considering how many tests we're doing and how many people are actually negative over how many people are positive. And we had 50 people, I think they said the other day, test negative who didn't know they had it.
No, test positive.
Or sorry, positively negative.
Negatively positive.
They tested positive who didn't even know they had it. So,
which is one of the reasons why I decided to get tested anyways, just to be sure.
Exactly.
And also to add to the data.
From you, Data, you are fully functional, aren't you?
Of course, but...
How fully?
In every way, of course. I am programmed in multiple techniques. A broad variety of pleasuring.
Yeah. So they're working friggin'... I mean, the people are going through that testing site just one after the other. People are working really, really hard. And it's nice to get that thank you, and I know people say thank you all the time, but like holy cow, it's just nice.
Yeah.
So you're welcome. It's really hard to get news out there that isn't pandemic-y or newsy. That's like not COVID-y.
Yeah.
COVID-y.
COVID-y. That's like my rap name. COVIDy.
C-Viddy.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So maybe we should do some reviews.
Yeah.
Now it's time for Drop Bear and Panda's Reviews.
So I convinced you. It didn't take a lot of convincing, but I did convince you to watch Tremors with me.
So here's the thing. There is not a lot of new stuff coming out
Yeah.
on Netflix or anything because nobody's allowed to make some new stuff.
I know.
I am looking forward to Space Force. That's coming out at the end of May.
Oh my God, am I ever.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But you were very surprised to know that I had never seen Tremors before.
Yeah.
I also have never seen that other space movie,
Oh, Space Troopers.
Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah, so that's probably going to be on the list if we can find it. But Tremors.
Alec Gillis from Studio ADI down in LA. He got a.
They said Alec Guinness. I was like, what?
He got an Oscar working on that.
Tremors?
No, Starship Troopers.
For what?
Practical effects.
Really?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Because of the bug?
Yep.
Bugs?
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, so that's we'll have to fact check that, but I'm pretty sure that I saw that in his studio when we were talking with him last time we were down there.
Well, we'll find out whether that's true or not at the when we're doing the editing.
Yeah, when we're doing the fact check.
We'll let you know in this segment right now whether this is true or not.
Okay, so not entirely true. They did get a nomination, an Oscar nomination for Best Visual Effects. So I was wrong. And because I'm wrong, Panda gets a back rub.
So you haven't seen Starship Troopers?
No.
So that's next on our list.
Cool.
But Tremors, so this is quintessential Kevin Bacon. And I want to say it wasn't 80s, it was 90s, like 1990, I think.
99 or 91 or something like that. It was a movie that I saw.
It wasn't bad.
Okay, so I thought it was supposed to be a horror movie, but it wasn't a horror movie.
Kind of a horror movie.
It was like a monster action movie, but...
Yeah, little horror action, monster action.
It was more action.
And do you know who else was in it? I mean, besides Reba McEntire, who I didn't realize, I don't even think I knew that she was in the movie because she's like a country and Western singer, not...
Her hair was outstanding. It was bigger than her.
But the one person that I totally forgot was in that was Fred Ward. Oh, you're giving me that look.
Who the hell's
you're like,
Fred Ward?
Who is Fred Ward? Fred Ward is Remo fucking Williams. That's who that is.
Who's Remo Williams?
You haven't seen Remo Williams?
No.
Oh
what?
my God. Panda. Okay. Called Remo Williams, and it's Fred Ward plays the hero, and he basically learns martial arts from this little Asian dude, and it's amazing. It's such a good movie.
I mean, we kept watching Tremors being like, I know who that guy is. I've seen that guy before.
Yeah.
I recognize that guy. So the movie was full of that.
Yeah.
But I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, the people that are listening to this podcast will be like, Remo, what? Remo was awesome.
Well, the guy who played Michael J. Fox's dad in Family Ties was in it.
That's right.
He was the gun nut who was married to Reba McEntire.
Reba McEntire. That's right.
So there were a lot of recognizable people in it.
Yeah.
The female kid who was in Jurassic Park
Yeah.
played one of the kids in Tremors.
Yeah.
The kid who liked the pogo stick.
And I can't remember the boy's name and what you thought he was Wonder Years.
I kept thinking he was the older brother in Wonder Years, but he was not.
No.
But he looked a lot like him.
But he was
the
was in other 80s stuff.
Yeah.
For sure. Anyway, so great movie, I thought, and the sandworms were fucking awesome.
The sandworms, the special effects for the sandworms was great.
It did make us think about Sharkosaurus a little bit.
Yeah. Well, clearly, I mean, those two go together like chocolate and chocolate cake.
Or chocolate and peanut butter.
Yeah.
You got my sandworm and my chocolate peanut butter.
What?
Did you ever see that commercial where you get Reese's, where Reese's come from? It's like I'm like totally in 80s throwback mode where like this girl, she's walking down the street and she's got this chocolate bar, and this dude's walking down the street. He's got this, thing of Skippy, and he's like eating the peanut butter as he's walking down the street, and she's like eating her chocolate bar. She's walking down the street, and then they bump into each other, and her chocolate goes into his peanut butter, and then they discover Reese's.
This is totally a sexual innuendo.
In your endo. Put your chocolate in my peanut butter.
Wow, the 80s.
Yeah, we'll have to find that commercial because it's like
they were all about cocaine.
You got your chocolate in my peanut butter. You got your peanut butter on my chocolate.
Yeah,
and they're just like, oh my God.
It sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So there you go. You're welcome.
Wow. Remember, you're 9 years older than me, so. So, Kevin Bacon. I know that this is like a huge Kevin Bacon movie.
Oh yeah.
But he was not good in it.
Well, he was Kevin Bacon.
He was not good in it.
He was. Well, I don't know. He had a couple overacting moments.
Oh, like definitely. Holy cow! It was.
I'm trying to remember that line that we were both laughing. Try laughing. Yeah.
And it was only like 2 words. It was like whatever. I don't remember what it was, but it was awful.
Yeah.
So he was not good.
Well, I would say that maybe it was the direction.
Oh, it was terrible.
Because 65% of direction is casting.
Oh.
And they did that 65% well, and then the other 35% they seem to have forgotten.
Oh
about.
yeah. So the special effects were good.
Quite good.
Like they were pretty good. Like I was pretty impressed with that. The story is pretty typical.
Yeah.
And I do like that. I did like that you never found out where the sandworms came from.
Right.
Really. So that was kind of nice. You didn't have to spend a lot of time being like, where did they come from?
There was a sequel
and having
made.
like. Did the sequel try to explain it?
I've never seen the sequel.
Maybe we're gonna have to watch the sequel.
Yeah.
But the acting was. There was a lot of overacting. There was a lot of the ADR was terrible.
Yeah, it was. It brought me back because it was quite obviously 80s, even though it was like early 90s, so 90, 91 as you said. But it felt like an 80s action horror movie.
It wasn't a horror movie. It was kind of like a Predator movie.
Yeah.
Right? Like it wasn't a horror movie. It was just an action movie with a monster in it.
Yeah.
But I did appreciate the fact that they didn't decide to explain where the monster came from.
Yeah.
It held my interest enough that although I was playing Angry Birds match on my phone.
What?
I waited until the second half to do it.
Well, that's where you lost all the nuance, obviously. If you're busy playing Angry Birds on your phone and you're missing all the subtle cues, man, no wonder you didn't like this movie.
I didn't say I didn't like it. It was.
How many pandas would you give it?
Well, we didn't shut it off.
No, I quite enjoyed it. I thought it actually held up pretty well.
It did hold up pretty well. I would give it probably 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5 pandas.
Yeah, so it was fine.
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon did disappoint me though. Like I expected more from Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
For a Kevin Bacon performance.
Was it
like one of his first films?
It had to be early in his career.
Must have been pretty early in his career.
Yeah. What was that film that he did? It would have been in the 90s where he was like an invisible man and you saw his wiener.
Was it The Invisible Man?
I don't know. Was that the name of the movie?
Did you see his wiener?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I've never seen his wiener.
Oh, no.
Ask me about my wiener. Ask me about my wiener.
Are you actually Googling Kevin Bacon's wiener?
Hollow Man?
Hollow Man. You saw his wiener?
Yeah.
So it was The Invisible Man.
It was Hollow Man.
Just Hollow Man.
Yeah, and you saw his wiener.
I like that you remember his wiener.
It was, I think it's probably one of the first wieners I ever saw in regular, movies.
And that's what you remember.
Yeah. Kevin Bacon's wiener. I don't really remember anything else about it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
But I mean, like, in terms of, male frontal nudity, you never saw that, like, outside of porns.
Yeah, well, it's about time.
Yeah.
Kudos to you, Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon's wiener. I wonder if Kevin Bacon's wiener had a credit.
Depends on how big it was, I guess.
It was a decent sized wiener. Yeah.
Well, I guess we're going to have to look at that then.
Was
Put
he
that on the list.
A grower or a shower? I don't know.
Well, you've seen it. You should know.
Well, I don't know. It was floppy.
So it was a flat. Well, at least it wasn't erect. If it was erect, then I think that would be a different kind of movie.
Right.
It wouldn't be Hollow Man. It would be like
hard times at
what?
Kevin's chocolate.
6 degrees of separation of Kevin Bacon. It would be like
put your chocolate in my peanut butter.
Okay, so Dante's Peak.
Yeah.
Okay, so I ended up watching.
Never watched it.
So yesterday, you were off doing something else, and I ended up having a crazy Friday night. I baked some chocolate chip banana bread.
Oh, did you bring that?
Yeah.
Nice.
I ordered some sushi from Globefish,
Nice.
and I played SimCity 4, which I'm doing pretty well on. I have 3 cities on the go right now. They're all making money, and I watched Dante's Peak because there's nothing new on Netflix, as we just... and I just said, I'm going to watch some garbage.
Yeah.
So it was either that or start what was it? The Mockingjay...
Oh, yeah, the Katniss and
whatever the
Hunger
hell.
Games.
Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Quadrilogy. And then I was like, I'm going to watch Dante's Peak. So that's about a volcano that explodes.
Oh.
With...
Hey, Google, who's in Dante's Peak?
The cast of Dante's Peak includes Linda Hamilton, Jamie Renee Smith, and 30 others.
Wasn't she like Terminator?
The main guy, though. I don't know. Okay, Google, who's in Dante's Peak? Pierce Brosnan.
Its cast includes Linda Hamilton, Jamie Renee Smith, and 30 others.
Oh, my God. The main character is Pierce Brosnan, and I think it's funny that she didn't mention that.
That's hilarious. Well, Linda Hamilton, though, I mean, she's like Terminator.
Yeah, so, okay, Google, what is the premise of Dante's Peak?
According to Wikipedia, starring Pierce Brosnan, Linda Hamilton, Charles Hallahan, Elizabeth Hoffman, Jamie Renee Smith, Jeremy Foley, and Grant Heslov, the film is set in the fictional town of Dante's Peak, where the inhabitants fight to survive a volcanic eruption from a long-dormant stratovolcano that has suddenly woken up in the danger.
Yeah, and it's very typical where they're like, he lost his girlfriend, in a previous volcano eruption, 10 years earlier, and he can't get over it, or 5 years ago, and then, he's like, no, this new volcano is gonna go off, and they're like, nobody believes you, and then, of course, finally they believe him, but it's too late, and it's
Was he a geologist?
Yeah. Well, he was a volcanologist. And then they make that joke about do you like Mr. Spock?
Wow.
Yeah.
When was that made?
Okay, Google, when was Dante's Peak made?
Dante's Peak was released on February 7th, 1997 in the United States of America.
Huh.
Yeah, because apparently movies that are released in the United States of America are more important than when they're released anywhere else.
Well, they do make more money, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Huh. So, what was your overall, was it worth a watch?
Well, I was also playing SimCity 4 at the same time, so it was a movie I watched. I had seen it before.
Oh, okay.
And I want to say it's sort of like Armageddon and Deep Impact, where I believe there was another movie that came out about the same time about another volcano that exploded with the guy from I can see his face. The Fugitive, the cop.
Oh, Harrison Ford.
No,
or not Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford was in The Fugitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the guy you're talking about.
Okay, Google, who was in The Fugitive?
The cast of The Fugitive includes Harrison Ford, Tommy Lee Jones,
and
27 others.
That's who it was.
Yeah, so I want to say that that sort of thing.
So Tommy Lee Jones, volcano movie. Oops.
I could be totally wrong, of course.
If you close your eyes.
Stop it. Could be called Volcano for all I know.
Joe versus a volcano. That was a different movie altogether. Anyway, so
I gotta find this out.
Tommy Lee Jones volcano movie called Volcano.
It was called Volcano.
Yeah, came out April 15th, 1997 in South Korea.
God, I'm good.
$90 million was the budget.
Yeah, so same thing. 2 disaster movies come out at the same time.
Cast. Yeah, Anne Hesh was in it.
Yes.
Gabby Hoffman, Tommy Lee Jones, Don Cheadle. Holy crap.
Oh my God, I'm so good. So now what
John
I have
Carroll
to do.
Lynch was in there.
So now what I have to do is I have to now watch Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones and decide which one's better.
Yeah, obviously. I think we should do that tonight.
But you didn't watch Dante's Peak with me.
Well, I'll watch that separately. I'll watch it in the middle of the night when I'm awake.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then we'll compare. But yeah, there you go.
Sounds good.
You're right. I had no idea actually.
Yeah.
I had zero clue that that's what had happened.
Yeah. I don't know why. Like, I wonder if it's like Hollywood's like, let's do this thing, and like two
competing.
But why? Like, are there 2 friends who are like they live together and like they're both writing. Like one's writing a script and the other one's a script writer too, and one of them like happens to see one script and the other one they're like, oh, and then they're like, oh, I hate you and I hate you too, and then they both write the same script and then they go to separate. It's so weird how this happens.
Yeah, and I suspect that it's I wonder who produced these.
I don't know. Like, this is stuff that we should have discussed before we did this stupid podcast. But anyways, Dante's Peak.
Head-to-head volcano movies. Which one is the best one? You'll find out. If you follow us on Instagram or Facebook.
We should have planned this better.
Yeah.
But it was not that good. But it was a crappy 90s action movie.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But there was one moving part. Meaning like not moving parts, but there was one part where I was like, oh my God, that was actually really sweet. That didn't verklemp me, but it did a little bit. It was quite sweet. There was a part that actually made me feel a little bit of emotion.
Wow.
Yes. And I don't want to give it away.
Yeah, don't spoil it for me.
But there was one part where
no
actually
spoilers. Don't spoil Dante's Peak.
If anyone has seen Dante's Peak, there was one character who did something that was quite, but there was one part where one guy died and it had this like ADR moment where he falls off a thing and it's sort of like, it's not Wilhelm's scream, but it was like, you could see this body fly and it was like, ah! And it was so awful. It was so badly done. Where I was like, what?
In the studio?
It was so bad.
Just grab some sound tech and be like, oh, dude, we're missing a scream. And
But it was so, and then you had this group of people watching him like be taken away by this like torrent of acid river, right? Because it becomes like corrosive and whatever, and everyone looks so sad, and I'm like laughing so hard because this body that looks like this like fake but just goes, and he's like, what? It was so bad, so it wasn't that good.
That's outstanding.
Yeah. So like, all right, 1.5 out of 5. We're
gonna watch Volcano tonight.
Cool.
Yeah, maybe we'll order some Chinese food.
Okay, I'm gonna probably have SimCity going, and I'll see how often I pay attention. So, anyways, Dante's Peak.
All right,
that was the thing that I did.
Okay,
cool.
Like it. It's time
for Drop Baron Panda to save the world.
I guess the very first thing to say is that episode 73 is going to be our last one for a while.
Yes, we don't know how long, but we're taking a hiatus.
That's right. So,
hiatus.
As we come up to June, we decided that there's some other projects that desperately need our attention, and we've decided to take a hiatus from Drop Baron Panda to Save the World podcast of Destiny.
Yes. So we've got some projects that we have been ignoring a little bit.
Yeah.
And stuff that we have to do.
Yeah.
And we would like to do.
Yeah.
We've got some computer stuff that we have to work on.
Yeah.
and fix.
Yep.
And the world is on fire.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to get some news that isn't about COVID stuff that we're not supposed to talk about, and American orange people that we aren't supposed to talk about.
Yeah.
So things are a little difficult.
Yeah. Anyway, so it seems like a good time to take a break and say thanks so much for listening for 73 episodes of Drop Bear and Pan to Save the World Podcast of Destiny, which started off with Badger leaving to Russia.
Yeah.
On a trip, and he's since moved there, and his flat has blown up at least once.
You know what we should have done is we should have ended it with Badger, but whatever.
No, it's fine. We'll just no.
Fuck that.
Anyway, so he's over there living the dream,
the Russian dream of his flat blowing up.
Yeah. And we've got other things. So we got like Home for the Apocalypse, which is a short film that we're working on.
It's not a short film.
Well, it's a documentary.
Yeah. About being home for the apocalypse.
Yeah.
And that's going to take up a lot of our time.
I guess it could be a feature-length documentary. We don't know yet because we're building it.
Yeah, and we have actually asked people to help contribute to that. And so depending on how that goes, that will help build our documentary.
Yep.
We've got some short film ideas that we have to work on that we need to...
Yeah, there's like a little vignette of 3 that we're going to put out. And then we've got our Canada Day one is coming up. So we need time to do that. Newton has written a book and is currently in talks with an agent and publishers.
He put out his pitch, and that has to be tweaked and looked at. And that takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
We are also discussing another podcast idea, but that's going to take quite a bit of work to grow and nurture.
And I don't want to give too much away until we land exactly on what it is, but the tentative launch will be September. And
that's also kind of a bit of a surprise.
Surprise!
So that might or might not happen. I mean,
that's why I said tentative.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Anyway, so we're the long story short is that we're taking a break from this podcast. We didn't want to fade off into obscurity. We're going to put a button on it at the end of 73. And to save the world and to help you with this flaming inferno that is the world today, Panda is going to share with you her top secret banana bread recipe.
Yes. Chocolate chip banana bread recipe.
And I just had some, and it is freaking terrific. So if you've been hoarding little black bananas in your freezer, now's the time to do something with them.
Yes. So I'm not going to give you the recipe over this podcast.
No.
For those who have listened and would like a very, very good chocolate chip banana bread recipe, we will be sharing that recipe
on our website.
On our website, in the show notes, that kind of thing. If you're anything like me, you will have a crap load of bananas in your freezer. Also, if you're anything like me, you tend to buy, 8 bananas at a time and then forget to eat them, or you don't eat them quickly enough and then have 4 left over and then throw them in your freezer.
Yeah. For the apocalypse.
Exactly. So,
anyway, really good. The only thing that I think is missing from your banana bread, walnuts.
And you know what? In that recipe, there is an option for nuts.
Whoa.
It's just that I don't have any nuts.
Yeah.
And so I didn't put any nuts in. So that's how we're going to save the world. I know that a lot of people are baking because they don't want to go out to the store.
And you don't need yeast for banana bread, do you?
You do not need yeast.
Do you need flour?
Yes. Clearly, you need flour for this banana bread recipe.
Yeah.
So.
Do you need bananas for this banana bread recipe?
Yes.
Do you need eggs?
Yes.
Chocolate chips?
Yes.
Time?
No.
How do you know when to take it out of the oven?
So the world isn't always a great place, and Drop Bear and Panda Save the World was trying to bring a little bit of light to you every couple weeks.
Yeah.
And I hope we were able to do that. And this hiatus might be forever or it might not be forever, but
We don't know.
I hope that we were able to at least bring some smiles and some chuckles to you guys. And
we might save the universe next.
What?
Yeah.
Well, with Space Force.
I know. That's what I'm thinking. I've been Drop Air.
I've been Panda.
And this has been Drop Air and Panda.
Save the world. Okay, Google, thank you for saving the world with us.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Of course you fucking don't.
Yo, it's Drop Air and Panda, yeah.